What it is, guys, it's your girl Mirah Gustaní, and I'm back with another YouTube video.
30, baby, won't you meet me by the beach? Early, maybe later, you could show me things. You know what it is whenever I visit any city.
So today we'll be doing a eyebrow tutorial, which is just a little descriptive eyebrow tutorial for the girls that are just trying to learn how to do makeup. So first things first, you want to make sure that your eyebrows are dry. You don't want there to be any oily products in your brows. You want to clean them off. If you have put like moisturizer or anything on your skin, if you don't want to cleanse your brows, you could take some setting powder on a brush and just, you know, tap that into your brow like so. You're gonna brush your brows out, and if I'm looking to the sides because my mirror is right here, so this is an optional step. What I like to do, even though I don't have thick brows, I like to use a soap brow or a brow freeze or something to make the brows stay in place. So we're going to take this and we're gonna brush our spoolie into there. So you can see now that there is product on the spoolie, and we're going to put this on our brows. We're not just gonna brush them out. We're gonna push this all into the brow.
Make sure all those brow hairs are coated so that your brows stay laminated, aka slicked.
So after I get them brushed through other brows, that's when I slick my brows. So I'm gonna slick them now.
So we'll be pushing the brows in an upward motion, and we'll pay close attention to the tip of the brow and push those hairs straight up.
We're gonna now take some setting powder on a sponge or a brush. It could be a dry sponge, it does not have to be damp, and you're gonna tap that into the brows. It's giving like I'm doing my brows like the drag queens. I low-key am.
Here you're gonna just tap the powder into your brows until it's translucent.
So it depends on how you want your brows. If you want to add a little arch to your brows, or if you want to just follow the shape, I say follow your shape first. I take my brows up and I arch them just a little bit because my brows automatically go up. So for example, I'm not going to start right here because this is where those regular hairs that are going to go up are. So I'm going to start right back here, and I'm going to draw a line ever so lightly. Do not draw this harshly, please, though. And I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So now that your lines are drawn, you can now draw your hair like strokes with your pencil. I know my pencil is low. Mind your business. We're going to use this till the wheels fall off. Now, we want to make sure your pencil is sharp and finely, like there's a point at least, so that's not like looking like a crayon. You want this to be pointy enough to draw hair-like strokes. When I say hair-like strokes, I mean you're lightly drawing lines that look like hairs, like this. You don't want your lines to look like this. No, that's too thick. If your pencil is drawing like that, go sharpen it right now. We're not doing that. So we're gonna start at the tails of my brows, and we're gonna draw those hair-like strokes.
So we're gonna lightly add those hair-like strokes back in. As you can see, your brow is already there, so you don't really want to fill your brow in too much.
Now that we filled this out, we're gonna move to the front of the brow. And when you go to the front of the brow, you're now gonna draw those hairs going upward. I want you to repeat this on the other side. Okay, so now that we filled these brows in, you're gonna now brush this line out so it isn't as harsh with your spoolie. Not the spoolie that you use this with, a different dry spoolie, okay?
Lightly brush that line out. We still need the shape as our guide.
We're gonna now take a lighter brow pencil, and we're going to draw the same upward strokes in the front of the brow just a little further to give that gradient effect. Now that you've done so, it may look like you have a little unibrow. You see how this is a thick line? Brush that away. You don't want that. Fix that. You have the option to carve out your brows, or you have the option to fix the top of your brow. I'd say fix the top of your brow, so pay attention, right? So you see that this is already like kind of sketched out for us, we don't want to take anything further to these brow strokes that are up here because we don't want a thick, bold brow, okay? Just gonna take this and draw a line. If it's necessary, like here, you don't necessarily need a line, but if you need that to help you draw correctly, do it. No thick, harsh lines. Lightly draw that line. Now that we have it, if it does look a little harsh, you can brush it out. But if you plan on making your brows skinnier than what it's turning out to be, you're perfectly fine. Now that we have filled our brows in, we're gonna now carve them out. We're using 2 concealers. I'll be using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Medium Beige, which is a lighter shade, and Toffee, which is the darker shade. Some product, and you just put enough to dibble back and forth into. Okay, so to carve your brows out, I'd recommend a flat brush. You could use a brow brush that's like angled, like this one. This one has been used, so you probably can't even tell it's angled, but you want to use something that's flat. You see, that's a flat brush. And this, you can use an angle brush, you can use a concealer brush. So you're gonna take this brush and you're gonna dip it into your product. So first, when you're carving your brows, the easiest way so that you're not messing up your brows, I'd say start from your arch. That's why I'm using my brighter shade. So we're gonna start from our arch.
Following that brow shape that we've already created as a guide, we're going to use the concealer to just clean the brows up.
We're gonna repeat the same thing on the other side. Now that we have carved our arch out, we're gonna now take our darker concealer. Just a little bit.
Again, using our brow shape as a guide, we're going to clean the brows up, and we're just going to connect those 2 lines to one another. As you can see, I kind of took that up a little bit too far, guys. Please be careful and have a steady hand when trying to carve your brows out.
See how these lines are now connected? And repeat this on the other side. And a little trick to make sure you get good symmetry between your brows, you can take this one and draw a straight line across to see if they have the same starting point, which mine do. But then remember, brows are sisters, not twins. Yeah. Now that you've carved your brows out, you now want to bring that product down.
Be careful during this step. You do not want to mess up your brows.
So after I do the bottom of my brows, I like to take a brush. I'm using this Deluxe Crease brush by Real Techniques, and I'm going to tap this into my lid. By using 2 different concealer shades on your brows, it gives a nice gradient effect. It gives you that highlight on your arch, so you aren't just using your highlighting concealer all over your brow and you don't have that ring, like that light ring around your brow. And at this point, you're gonna examine your brows to make sure everything looks similar
Or to your liking.
You know, don't go back sketching anything. Don't do it. Don't do it. Not sketching. Don't go cutting anything else. You see how this one is longer than this one? I'm gonna take this one down a little bit. Like so, because now we have to carve the top of the brow. So when it comes to cleaning up the top of the brow, I like to go in with the foundation shade that you are using. If you're not using foundation and you're only doing like a concealer beat, I still recommend to use a shade that is your skin complexion on the top of your brows, because we do not want that halo ring around our brows. You don't want that. We don't do that no more. That's back in what, 2016? We don't do those. When it comes to doing the top of your brows, you see how this side like is bigger in the front than this side? We don't want this, okay? And we're not gonna bring our brows up into an angle, if that makes sense. So, for example, I'm gonna take my flat brush and I'm going to make a line right like that. Don't go too low because you don't know how far you want to take your line down. So if this gap of space is enough for you and it doesn't look too big, you can go on here. So I'm just gonna show you. Now to some people this brow may be too big, so we can now fix that if you don't like it. We can make it smaller. I mean shorter, not smaller. And we're making a straight line at the top of our brows. We're not taking it at an angle. We're doing a straight line across. Then I'm gonna start right here. You see how the ends of my brows look a little funny? We're gonna fix that. So we're now gonna take we're gonna start at the curve of the brow and we're gonna take that straight down. Straight down. Now the end of our brow, we want it to have a point. So if you have to go back into your brow at the bottom, you could take it just a little bit further at like an angle and meet those two together. And you have a point. I'm going to stop here and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side.
You can see here I'm dragging the concealer over from the top of the brow on the right to the left so that the brows have some type of symmetry.
So now that you're satisfied with your brow shape, you can take your brush again and you're going to blend out the top of your brow. Do not go near that line, just blend out the edges. And you're pretty much done. As far as the middle of your brow, you could take that excess from the middle and you could take a little bit of this. Don't take too much. Because you feel me? Gonna tap up in the middle, just like so. If you feel like it's harsh in the middle, you could take your spoolie, your dry spoolie, and brush it out just a little bit at the end. And there you go. This is the brow tutorial. It's nice and, you know, it's nothing too crazy. How easy was that? This is the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I really do hope that this tutorial was helpful to you. If this tutorial was helpful to you, please let me know in the comments below. If you would like more descriptive tutorials, please let me know. If you would like me to do a version of this on a person with thick brows, please let me know, because I do have friends and family members that do have thick eyebrows or like stubborn eyebrow hairs. So yeah. Further ado, thank you for watching. Later, babies.